Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking into a collection of stories that, well, they're likely to send a shiver down your spine.
Definitely.
We've got these really powerful personal accounts. They're from a YouTube channel called Lazy Masquerade, and they're all presented as true horror stories.
Yeah, and what's so gripping about these is they are first-person narratives. These aren't just made-up tales.
Right.
They're raw accounts of encounters that turn genuinely terrifying. So our goal today is really to unpack these experiences, looking at the unexpected twists, the moments where everything clicks into place with stark realization, and what these incidents tell us about dangers that might be hiding in plain sight.
Okay, let's get into it. We're talking about everything from online meetups gone badly wrong to, childhood explorations that turned into absolute nightmares.
It's a chilling look at how fast things can change.
Exactly. How an ordinary moment can suddenly become a fight for survival. So get ready, because we're about to explore some truly unsettling real-life events.
Let's start.
Okay, our first story. This one takes us to Toronto back in 2015. It involves a young adult man who joined one of those popular BDSM websites.
Okay.
He connects with this woman he describes as gorgeous and older. They message for weeks. And during this time, she sort of lays out that he'd be her master.
Right.
And she mentions, almost casually, that her previous master died in a car accident. It's an odd detail, but he kind of brushes it off.
That's already a slight pause moment, isn't it? Even if brushed off.
It is. Anyway, she invites him over late one night.
And this is where we need to pause, I think. The speed of it all. Going from online chat to an isolated late-night meeting invite, especially after she'd canceled a few times before.
Yeah, that pattern.
That's often a concerning sign. It really highlights how, emotional investment or maybe just anticipation can sometimes make you ignore your better judgment.
That's a really good point. It's like you're already committed.
Exactly.
So he drives about 45 minutes out towards Hamilton. But the GPS takes him further onto this really dark highway stretch, no streetlights.
Okay, getting more isolated.
Yeah, and the exit leads him onto this long, dark country road. He's passing silhouettes of farmhouses. It's pitch black.
Yeah.
And then here's where it gets really strange. His destination isn't the house he pictured.
No.
No, it's a small, boarded-up church house.
Yeah.
Just one single kind of eerie yellow streetlight outside.
Wow. The contrast there between expecting maybe a classy home and finding a derelict church, that's a huge psychological jolt.
Totally.
That immediate sense of isolation, the unsettling environment, it just screams danger. Your survival instinct kicks in right away. And suddenly that full tank of gas feels pretty important.
Right. So he tries calling the number she gave him, no longer in service. Just as he's thinking, okay, I'm out of here, an email pops up from her. It says, hey, I see you're here. It's not the church. My place is the small house behind the church.
Still tempting him.
Yeah. And despite his brain-screaming horror movie, he admits there was this small jolt of curiosity. So he takes this little path beside the church. And sure enough, there's a small farmhouse at the top of a hill. But he stops. He decides, survival is taking precedent over the need for sex. He's not going in.
That's fascinating, isn't it? Even when every alarm bell is ringing, that flicker of curiosity or maybe wanting the situation to not be terrifying can still pull you forward. But then, the hooded figure.
Right. He sees a hooded figure on an upstairs balcony, and it motions for him to look behind you.
Chilling. That shifts it completely from just feeling wrong to knowing you're being watched, possibly trapped.
And it's exactly when it happens. He feels someone tugging his driver's side door handle. He looks, and it's the woman from the photos, but she looks much older. She's hunched over, face pressed right against the glass, and she has this, he called it a horrifying smile, like a creepy cartoon image of the Joker.
Jeez.
And she whispers, open the door, baby. He's completely frozen. Then she starts yanking the handle violently, yelling, open this door now. He just slams the car into reverse. He actually drags her for a second before she lets go, and he just floors it out of there.
Wow.
And the kicker, later on, a friend mentions that the local papers had actually reported on an older couple who lured men out to their farm.
See, that confirmation just takes it to another level. It wasn't just a weird, scary encounter. It was likely a premeditated trap.
Exactly.
It's such a stark reminder of the dangers, especially when meeting people from online and isolated places.
Yeah.
Trust your gut. That instinct is there for a reason.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. From that kind of modern digital danger, we go to a different type of horror, rooted in childhood.
Right.
This story takes place in 1991, a Norwegian village.
Huh?
We have an 8-year-old narrator and his 2 older brothers, who were 10 and 12.
Okay.
They dared each other to sneak into this abandoned property near their house. They called it the haunted house. Their parents had absolutely forbidden them from going near it, mostly worried they'd get hurt on the dilapidated property.
Which makes it even more appealing to kids, doesn't it? The forbidden aspect.
Yeah, totally.
And this haunted house, it was actually the old home of a brick factory owner, just left standing, as if someone just walked out one day. That creates such an eerie atmosphere right away.
It really does. So one damp, rainy day in November, actually the day before the narrator's birthday, they decide to finally open this old cellar hatch they'd found outside.
Oh, boy.
All 3 of them climbed down. The plan was just to, write their names on the stone walls, make it their secret spot, their own kind of thing.
Innocent enough, sounds like.
Until the hatch slammed shut above them, plunging them into total, absolute darkness.
Oh, no, that sudden darkness trapped underground. Terrifying for anyone, but especially for kids.
And then the immediate realization they weren't alone. The oldest brother pushes up on the hatch and sees a man's hand holding an axe.
Oh, my God. Just pure dread, that image.
Exactly. And the man starts taunting them, sounds drunk, yelling, "Come on out, you trespassing little brats," threatens to tell their parents. It instantly goes from a scary situation to a real immediate threat.
The power dynamic shift is terrifying. They're completely vulnerable.
It gets so much worse. The man, still clearly drunk, drops the axe for a second and starts hammering the hatch closed, nailing it shut.
Is trapping them in.
Yes. The narrator throws himself at the hatch, trying to stop him, but the man just reaches for the axe again, laughing.
Oh, that's sadistic.
His older brother pleads, "We'll never come back, just let us go." But the guy ignores them, just curses about the rain getting him wet while he keeps hammering. And then he says, "I might come back and let you out one day, or I might just butcher all 3 of you."
That is psychological torture. The uncertainty combined with the threat, leaving them down there, nailed in, not knowing.
Right.
It just highlights their complete helplessness and the sheer terror of being at the mercy of someone so unstable and cruel. But what they do next, it's pretty incredible.
It really is. They're trapped in the cold, damp, pitch-black cellar. They wait, terrified, until the hammering finally stops.
Holding their breath, I imagine.
Totally. The oldest brother, Cinder, he has the idea. Count to 100, then try to escape. Maybe the man will be gone.
Smart thinking, trying to impose some order on the chaos.
Yeah. And fueled by just sheer panic, they start feeling around the old stone walls and find a loose stone. They use it somehow to break through the lower half of the wooden hatch door, which was maybe softer or rotten.
Resourceful, desperate.
The narrator, being the smallest, gets pushed out first. He looks around, the man's gone.
Thank God.
But he then has to find the hammer the man left behind, all the while terrified the guy's going to come back any second and use it to smash the rest of the hatch to free his brothers.
The pressure on him, the youngest one.
Incredible bravery. They finally get out and just run for their lives. And the really haunting part, they never told anyone. Not their parents, nobody. Their parents apparently just got mad about their clothes being muddy and torn.
That silence, it speaks volumes, doesn't it? About the trauma, maybe fear of not being believed, or just the sheer weight of the secret. It's a story about horror, but also about amazing resilience. You just wonder about that man, who he was.
Exactly. Left hanging. Okay, our next story moves us back into the digital realm, but it shows how stalking can evolve. This is 2015 again. A university student met a guy, seemed nice enough, named Alex at some kind of gathering.
Okay, common scenario.
They exchanged numbers, Facebook profiles. Everything seemed normal at first, just casual conversation. But after about a week, Alex's behavior took a really dark turn.
This sounds like a depressingly familiar pattern, unfortunately. That quick escalation from seemingly normal to boundary pushing.
Yeah. He starts sending her messages describing her body, saying he wanted to have sex with her.
Right, crossing lines immediately.
Then it escalates further unsolicited naked photos of himself, sending pornography, asking if he could film them having sex.
Wow. Okay.
She, of course, declined all of it, told him she had a boyfriend, and blocked him on her phone and on Facebook. Tried to shut it down completely.
The right reaction. But her friends.
Yeah, this part's tough. She mentioned her friends, sort of laughed it off.
That's deeply concerning. And sadly, also common. Minimizing or dismissing these early stages of stalking, especially online harassment, happens way too often. It isolates the victim.
It really does. So 2 weeks go by. She thinks maybe it's over. But Alex finds her again.
Wow.
Through a different Facebook account. And this time, he sends her something that absolutely terrified her. Her full home address.
Oh, that's a huge escalation. That's terrifying.
She was completely freaked out. She had zero mutual friends with this guy. Nobody at her university knew her exact address.
Yeah.
How did he get it?
That's the chilling part, the determination involved. It implies he went to significant lengths, maybe even illegal ones, to find her. That makes the threat feel incredibly real and immediate. It's not just online anymore.
No. She tells her boyfriend, who's obviously furious. His friend's mother happens to be a police officer, and she promises to keep an eye out unofficially.
Good to have some support, at least.
But Alex keeps going. More messages from different numbers, different accounts, just repeating her address, repeating his sexual demands.
Relentless.
She gets angry, understandably, and messages him back once, telling him to stay the F away, and then she'd kick his ass.
A very human reaction, that frustration boiling over.
His reply, just a smiley face emoji.
Ugh, that's so disturbing. It's that calculated indifference to her fear, maybe even enjoying it. It's a power play.
Definitely felt like it. So things go quiet for about 3 months. Then, out of the blue, she gets a text. I'm outside.
No.
And he starts describing her house in detail, asking which room is yours.
Right outside her home. That's the nightmare scenario.
Yeah. She says, surprisingly, she wasn't totally freaked out. Maybe some kind of numbness had set in.
Yeah.
But she immediately calls her boyfriend and grabs the sword she owned.
Okay, props for grabbing a sword, but wow.
Alex keeps texting. Graphic sexual fantasies. Then when she tells him she has a sword, he texts back, I've got a knife.
This is incredibly dangerous territory now.
She texts him that she's called the police and given them his number. A short while later, she hears a car drive away.
He backed off, at least for the moment.
His last message to her was, well, if you ever want sex, you know where I am.
Vile, leaving that final lingering threat.
She alerted campus security, the police officer friend again, provided all the info, and thankfully she hasn't heard from him since.
Thank goodness. But that whole ordeal, it just shows the profound violation that stalking is, especially digital stalking that bleeds into the real world.
Yeah.
The constant vigilance, the psychological toll, and the frustration that often the system can't do much until something physically happens. That final message leaves such a chilling shadow.
It really does. Okay, for our final story tonight, we're going back in time a bit, the late 1970s. It involves our narrator's dad. His truck broke down one cold night, about an hour away from home. This is before cell phones, obviously.
Right, much more vulnerable situation.
So he starts hitchhiking.
Right.
Pretty quickly, he gets picked up by a middle-aged man in a brown sedan.
The classic, almost archetypal setup for potential danger in true crime lore, isn't it? The lone hitchhiker, the anonymous driver.
Totally. And the first little oddity, the driver doesn't respond when the dad tries to make small talk. Just silence.
That lack of normal interaction is often an early, subtle warning sign, a deviation from expected social behavior.
Then the driver locks the doors and puts his hand right on the dad's upper thigh and squeezes.
Okay, direct physical violation, no ambiguity there.
Right. Now, the dad, he was young, maybe 24 or 25, a construction worker, described as barrel-chested and stocky. Not a small guy.
Right.
He immediately tells the driver, hey, I'm not into that. I just need a ride.
Setting a firm boundary.
But the driver doesn't move his hand. So the dad just orders him, get your hand off me. Then he grabs the guy's hand himself, peels it off his leg, and threatens him, basically saying, I'll kick your fang ass.
Wow. Very direct, very aggressive response.
Yeah. And apparently, without saying a single word, the driver immediately pulls the car over, unlocks the doors, and the dad jumps out.
That immediate, forceful pushback likely changed everything.
Seems like it. But when he got home and told his family what happened, they didn't believe him. Or maybe downplayed it.
That's rough, being dismissed after something like that.
Years go by. Now he's with his girlfriend, who becomes the narrator's mom. They're watching the news together one evening.
Okay.
And a story comes on about the arrest of the infamous John Wayne Gacy.
Oh, I think I know where this is going.
The narrator's mom said her husband, the dad, just went completely pale, jumped out of his chair, shaking violently, started screaming and pointing at the TV, yelling, that's him, that's the guy who picked me up.
Chills. Absolute chills. That delayed realization.
Right. His mom believed him instantly.
Yeah.
Said he just wasn't the type to lie or make something like that up. His reaction was too visceral, too real.
And it fits, doesn't it? The profile, the MO, the car, possibly. It's a horrifying thought, that random brush with pure evil, completely unrecognized at the time.
Yeah. The narrator theorizes that maybe Gacy, who usually went after younger or smaller victims, perhaps misjudged his dad's age or build.
Or was simply deterred by the immediate aggressive resistance. That willingness to fight back might have made him not worth the risk in Gacy's eyes right then.
Could be. It's a terrifying what if.
Absolutely. And the detail about the partner's uncle having a similar Gacy encounter just drives it home. How many close calls were there? How many people unknowingly escaped? It's staggering.
That final story really encapsulates it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How close danger can be, how unpredictable, and how we might only recognize it years later, if ever. So we've covered a lot here. Online traps, childhood terror, digital stalking, a brush with a serial killer.
Right.
What's the thread connecting these for you?
Well, what really strikes me across all these varied accounts is that powerful underlying current of instinct. Self-preservation. Whether it's the kids finding a way out of the cellar, the dad forcefully rejecting the advance, the student eventually calling the police, or the guy in the first story finally listening to that horror movie feeling.
Yeah.
These aren't just stories about terrible things happening. They're also stories about resilience, about that gut feeling, those warning signs our bodies and minds give us, even if we sometimes try to ignore them. It's about survival.
That's a great way to put it. These accounts, as disturbing as they are, really do offer some valuable, if harsh, lessons.
Definitely.
They hammer home how crucial it is to trust your intuition, to really be aware of your surroundings, not just physically present, and to recognize those moments when things shift, when discomfort turns into actual danger.
That line can be so thin sometimes.
Incredibly thin. These stories remind us that safety isn't always guaranteed, and sometimes your own instincts are your best defense.
Absolutely. Each story, in its own way, is a potent reminder that vigilance, thinking critically about situations, and trusting that deep-seated instinct for self-preservation are just vital tools for navigating, well, an unpredictable world.
Yeah. They're more than just scary stories. They're almost like case studies in vulnerability, but also in that capacity to survive.
Precisely.
So maybe the thought to leave you, our listener, with today is this. As you go about your life, pay attention to those subtle shifts in atmosphere, the details that feel slightly wrong, that quiet inner voice. Don't dismiss it.
It might just be the most important guide you have.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the very real and often hidden face of horror.